he said.
He said
Don't worry
easy
about what
work,
he said.
easy money. Do you
Don't
agree?
worry about there's no easy fight. There's no easy fight.
Why is he saying this? Why is he saying this? He said easy money.
He believes in me.
Yeah,
he
that's
believes
right.
in me.
I like that.
Have you ever seen like someone on X Factor that can't sing but their parents believe in them?
I'm going in there, I can fight free. If he starts getting touched up and losing rounds, I think the cookie will crumble.
Do you agree?
Whatever he said. We'll see if the cookie crumbles. I don't know what to say. I'm confident in myself. Like, I'm not focusing on him. I just know what I can do, and I can't wait to show it. I'm not gonna crumble. I'm solid. I've been through wars.
This is what I'm gonna say. I don't want to focus on it being like about Jake. Oh, Jake's small, so that makes me confident. Jake's this, so that makes me confident. I'm just focused on myself. I'm confident in myself. Jake could be 10th. I'm confident in myself. That's what I'm saying. It's not about how he is. I just really like. I've got a good team. I've been through ups and downs. I've stood the test of time. I'm passionate. I'm hungry, and I'm still here ready to fight my heart out. So I'm confident in that.
The moment Anthony Joshua exploded on Jake Paul during the live interview face-off instantly sent shockwaves through the boxing world, turning what was supposed to be a controlled promotional exchange into one of the most intense and talked about confrontations in recent combat sports memory, as cameras captured Joshua's usually calm and composed demeanor cracking under the weight of repeated disrespect, dismissive comments, and provocations from Paul, who walked into the interview brimming.
The Joshua thing is crazy.
Is that a real conversation?
Jake's a fucking lunatic, and it's probably real. I saw Joshua knock out Francis Ngannou, and the guy was like out cold for 5 minutes. And this is a guy who had never been knocked down, let alone knocked out.
If he steps in the ring with him, and actually a bell rings and there are punches thrown, every bit of Jake Paul is not a real boxer conversation is gone forever.
With confidence, swagger, and a clear intention to push every possible button. From the opening seconds, the tension was unmistakable, with Paul smirking, interrupting, and downplaying Joshua's legacy, repeatedly framing him as a manufactured champion and claiming that the era of traditional boxing heroes was over, insisting that crossover stars like himself were the real future of the sport. Comments that visibly irritated Joshua as his jaw tightened and his eyes locked in with a stare that signaled the storm was building.
Why do you want to help Anthony Joshua?
Why Anthony Joshua? I think it's answer only for God, because Anthony very have, I think, education, like a kind of guy. We speak with Anthony, message. Now we speak on the phone, not Instagram, but I have a number, Anthony have number. For example, we drive in a car, he call me, hey champ, hello, how are you, blah, 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 blah. We joking, hey, good luck training, because I see this guy in the gym. My team, hey, Alex, hello, hey, brother, good training. It's guy, I like this guy because this is guy smart. I think this guy have very big heart. And
very love boxing. Yes, people think you will make him fight like you.
As the interviewer struggled to keep control, Paul continued his verbal assault, mocking Joshua's recent losses, questioning his hunger, and boldly declaring that he would break him in a fight.
AJ's always plotting his next move. I believe him teaming up with Usyk is more than him just training with the best. It's him targeting Fury. Who better to learn from than the team that beat him twice? Killed two birds with one stone. The same reason he was training with Ben Davison, Tyson's former trainer, to get inside knowledge. And yes, the partnership did not work, but I'm pretty sure he would have picked up some valuable info on Tyson. Will it be enough? I'm not sure, because AJ needs to be mentally right. But I've always said, stylistically, AJ is all wrong for Fury. If Team Usyk can bring out AJ's strengths, get him mentally right, the attacking version of AJ, my mind's not changed. He's a nightmare for Tyson Fury. I also think that AJ is better suited to Usyk's team because they're all about boxing's fundamentals in solid basics. And when I say that, I mean to the highest degree.
Framing it as a symbolic takeover where YouTube-born fighters would finally dethrone the old guard, a narrative that played perfectly to Paul's fanbase but crossed a line for Joshua, who prides himself on respect for the sport, its history, and the fighters who came before him.
Do you think he can win? Jake Paul?
I think it's a possibility. No one is backing Jake Paul currently. You've seen him in the ring. You can see that he's got some knockout power. And I also believe people don't look at Joshua's last few fights. And I don't think it's going to be as big of a landslide as people feel. I feel like there's an overhand right that could easily land, and I wouldn't predict that Joshua's chin can last that. The problem is that all of the pressure's on Joshua at the moment. So Jake Paul, if he gets knocked out in 12 seconds, he should get knocked out. The problem is as soon as Joshua starts taking damage, all of a sudden he's thinking, the world is watching me. I'm a professional fighter and I'm getting beat off a YouTuber. All of the pressure is in Joshua, and that's a lot that can weigh on a man. You can't deny that Jake Paul has power. I think it's one of his only attributes. I think he's a very poor boxer, but what he does have is a weird technique where you don't know what
he's got power. How do we know he's got power?
He's knocked people out. Joshua has all of the world looking at him thinking you should walk him over. If it gets 2 rounds, 3 rounds inside, I think Joshua loses.
The breaking point came when Paul laughed off Joshua's Olympic gold medal and world titles, calling them relics, at which moment Joshua leaned forward, his voice rising as he fired back with raw intensity, reminding Paul that boxing isn't a game of views and algorithms but a brutal test forged through years of sacrifice, discipline, and pain. His words sharp and deliberate as he accused Paul of disrespecting not just him but every fighter who bled for the sport.
But AJ, by knockout, brutal knockout, Nakisa is making a big mistake putting Jake Paul in a fight like this because he's gonna want to see him get hurt. I mean, these guys are going for the money, where really, you know, he has a life after boxing as well. Let's hope he comes out the ring in one piece.
Could I ask you individually, why are they doing this? So start with AJ, why is he doing this?
AJ, if I was AJ, I'd do the same thing, because at the end of the day, you're fighting a YouTuber, and why not? I mean, getting paid millions and millions of pounds. And why is Jake doing? Jake's just doing it for probably the fan following. Maybe he wants to get the boxing audience. But look, who knows? I mean, anything can happen in boxing. One punch can change the fight, but I just don't think he has that one punch to change the fight. It does Jake Paul.
The atmosphere shifted instantly, with Joshua no longer speaking like a polished ambassador but like a man defending his identity, telling Paul that clout couldn't save him in the ring and that experience, power, and resilience couldn't be faked, a statement that drew audible reactions from the live audience and even seemed to momentarily rattle Paul, whose grin faltered as Joshua continued, warning him that stepping into the ring with a real heavyweight wasn't content creation but a dangerous.
Obviously, a lot of people going into this fight, they're expecting quite a demolition job from Anthony Joshua. You expect him saying like a round,
whenever he wants. I mean, I don't think AJ's not the kind of guy that's going to start kind of messing around and doing 3 or 4 rounds. And you know, you get some people go, yeah, I bet there's something in the contract where it's like, don't be ridiculous. I mean, you know, I wouldn't even allow that, let alone AJ. He's going to go in there and he's going to do a job on it. We don't play around in boxing. It's not the sport to play around and start doing rounds. No, we're going to go out there. Obviously, AJ hasn't boxed for 14 months, but you know, I don't know. But people say if it goes past 1 round, AJ's a joke. It's like, oh blimey, okay, can we have 2 rounds? But I expect it to be over in a round.
Gamble. As the exchange escalated, the 2 men stood up, moving closer, security edging in as Joshua's voice boomed with conviction, declaring that he had faced giants, champions, and pressure Paul could never understand, while Paul fired back, accusing Joshua of being afraid of losing relevance and clinging to a fading legacy, a claim Joshua dismissed with a scoff as he emphasized that real respect is earned through wars, not wins on a thumbnail.
I think the first head-to-head that they had where Jake Paul's like looking up and then looking down, I think like that's when it dawned on him like, what am I doing here?
Eddie's belief, whether you subscribe to Eddie's views on this, is that he genuinely believes that Jake Paul doesn't know what he's walking into, doesn't seem to have a regard for what he's walking into, is slightly deluded about it, thinks that Anthony's a bit chinny, and thinks he has a chance in this fight. Now, I don't know about you boys, but unless you've lived under a stone, you know that Anthony Joshua can punch. The only debate about Anthony Joshua is not the physicality of Anthony Joshua, it's the psychology of him. There's going to be no psychological damage to Anthony Joshua when he walks in against Jake Paul. This has jeopardy written all over it, doesn't it?
Jake Paul, though, is actually deluded enough to believe that if he gets inside that he's got...
Is he?
He must be, Simon, otherwise the fight wouldn't be going ahead. He truly believes that he can win this fight. He doesn't realise that there's levels to this game.
I mean, he's stupid in a good way, but I'm actually praising him. He's stupidly deluded in the fact that he thinks he can do anything. That's probably why he's as successful as he is. I think with Jake Paul at the moment, though, you've started, so you've got to finish. He's put the bluff on. I think the first head-to-head that they had where Jake Paul's like looking up and then looking down, I think like that's when it dawned on him like, what am I doing?
The interviewer attempted to de-escalate, but the damage was done, with clips of the confrontation instantly flooding social media, fans dissecting every glance, every word, and every moment Joshua appeared ready to turn the verbal clash into something physical.
You know, for me, in my opinion, I think it's scripted a little bit because, you know, of the weight difference, and, you know, Joshua is a former, you know, champion. And also, you know, he's current, he's active, you know, and this is going to be the first time that we see Paul, you know, fighting an active fighter. You know what I mean? We seen the Mike Tyson, that was all fun, that was cute, you know what I'm saying? It's fun and games and stuff, but now you're dealing with a real professional, you know, and so we'll see how it ends up you know, like I said, I think it's scripted, but, you know, we're going to see. At the end of the day, I just want everybody to have fun. I want them to enjoy themselves because we risk our lives for others' entertainment and just go home safely, to be able to have memories and say we did a great job.
Thank you. Let's get a bomb squad to end.
Bomb squad!
Analysts quickly weighed in, with some praising Joshua for finally showing a raw edge fans have long wanted to see, arguing that his explosion humanized him and reminded audiences that beneath the composed exterior is a fierce competitor who refuses to be mocked, while others questioned whether engaging with Paul on such a heated level played into Paul's hands by amplifying the spectacle he thrives on.
I think Jake Paul had a big realization when he did that face-to-face of AJ.
How big you are. Yeah. I think it was a real...
When he looked up to AJ's chest and he actually looked up, it was so much Rocky Balboa, Ivan Drago. It was that.
It was that real come to Jesus moment where it's like, oh wow, you are bigger than you look in those pictures.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm sure he must have went leaving that press conference thinking, I am so glad I'm getting well paid.
Regardless of perspective, the face-off achieved exactly what promoters crave: universal attention, reigniting debates about the legitimacy of crossover boxing, the responsibility of stars like Paul, and whether a fight between the two would be a legitimate sporting contest or a high-risk circus with real consequences.
I'm knocking this guy out, becoming the CEO of Matchroom Boxing and changing the plans, and it's going to be me versus Tyson Fury next year.
Yeah, if I'm going to be honest, I'm going to break his face, I'm going to break his body up, I'm going to stomp all over him. That's my mentality, right? That's a fighter's mentality, and I know what's in my heart, I know what's in my mind, and I'm here to compete. I'm here to prove myself that I'm the better fighter, so I'm looking forward to it, and I'll do that until I finish fighting.
Former fighters chimed in, some warning Paul that heavyweights like Joshua operate on a different level of danger, emphasizing that one clean shot could end not just a fight but a narrative, while others acknowledged Paul's ability to draw eyes and money, conceding that his confidence, whether delusional or calculated, has repeatedly carried him into opportunities once considered impossible.
At the end of the day, it's just what happens at the end of the night. I'm not in there to try and knock Jake out in 10 seconds or 8 rounds. I'm going to go in there and do a job. I'm going to want to hurt him. You know, I'm going to want to really hurt him in the ring. If that's what I want to do. That's what I'm here to do.
And Jake mentioned the Andy Ruiz fight. Up until now, that's your only fight in America, a pro fight in America. Do you view this as an opportunity to right that wrong, to reintroduce yourself to the American public?
No, I'm here for a job. I'm not here to reintroduce myself to nobody. I'm not here for any of that. I'm here to fight Jake Paul. That's it.
For Joshua, the moment marked a potential turning point, signaling a refusal to be passive in the face of provocation and a willingness to confront disrespect head-on, a stance that resonated with fans who believe the sport needs its champions to defend its integrity.
I like the challenge. People, that's the criticism. Fight someone in their prime who's a beast. I think people just want to see me lose. That's really what the message is behind it all. And Anthony Joshua is an insane fight, but I want that challenge. We've been DMing back and forth. He wants to make it happen. He called me up, and it's looking very likely for next year.
As the interview ended, the lingering image was clear: two men from vastly different worlds, one forged through the traditional grind of elite boxing, the other shaped by digital fame and marketing genius, standing inches apart, fueled by ego.
Big news also this past week, AJ versus Jake. I mean, everyone's been calling for Jake to fight a real fighter. What do you think?
And Jake gonna fight a real fighter, and if the real fighter fights like a real fighter, then Jake gonna take a real nap. Cause AJ, he showed you with Ngannou. He ain't one of these guys that just can go pick out streets and say, oh, I'm gonna fight AJ. No. AJ is an Olympian. AJ is a former world champion. AJ is not two-time world champion. AJ is nothing to play with. So when you go in with AJ, have your mind right, cause if you can't take it, he gonna find out.
Were you surprised when you heard about that?
No, I was not.
So you think he's going to knock him out, though, AJ?
He's going to definitely knock him out. Because, I mean, don't get it wrong. Jake's smart, and Jake does have the power. If he can catch him first, he knows if he can catch AJ first, he can get AJ out. But he don't catch AJ first. Like Ngannou couldn't catch him first. AJ been boxing a long time. AJ better than they give him credit for.
Pride and ambition, leaving the boxing world buzzing with one unavoidable question: if this is the intensity in a studio, what would happen if they actually met under the lights? Gloves on, with nothing but the bell and their words left to settle the